The Nightfarers each reach the Round Table Hold in their own way, but the Wylder is the one we get to follow as he takes his first steps into this fleeting place. Arriving injured regardless of how well we perform our first trek through Limveld, he, like all the other Nightfarers, has no true recollection of his past, only fading images shrouded by the rain. During his remembrance quest, we peel back the layers of the poster boy of Elden Ring Nightreign, and as expected of FromSoft, the story told is one of strength, mystery, and of course, tragedy. This will be the first of our series on the Nightfarers, where I tell their stories both directly from their journals and with the context of the missions we complete, in order to learn the whole truth behind their motivations and their ultimate fate as they explore Limveld. Today, we tell the tale of the Wylder. Thank you for joining us as we venture out into a new land and tell the stories of Elden Ring Nightreign. These will be a little different from our regular Elden lore series, as while Nightreign has plenty to speculate about, the individual character stories are told in such a way that we have a solid beginning, middle, and end. If this is your first time finding the channel, welcome. We're glad to have you along with us for this new form of storytelling. Should you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and we'll get right back to you. Also, make sure you check out our Discord, where we're building an active Nightreign community you can join, so you never have to play with randos. If you like the way I break down these journals and missions, please consider subscribing, but no pressure. Your viewership is always more than enough for us. With that said, let's get back to the Wylder. Upon entering the Round Table Hold, the Wylder is greeted by the Priestess, an enigmatic character who will come to be deeply intertwined with the Wylder's personal journey. But for now, she simply acts as our guide, and explains what it is he will be doing, now that he's found his way to the Round Table.
You are awake. I know not why, but once again it has happened. So be it. Condemned, I welcome you to the Round Table Hold. I am the Priestess, the voice of your formless master. You were chosen for your potential to vanquish the night. The Night Lord is a living cataclysm, bent on laying waste to the very land that anchors us. Unless we bring its end, our world will be undone. And for this, I need your help.
After successfully completing his first trip through Limveld and felling a Night Lord, the Priestess reveals herself to be the Duchess, a fellow Nightfarer, ready to once again join the fray and put her talents to use fighting back against the Night. With this, the pieces are in place. The Wylder departed from his faraway home, braving the sea of fog to reach Limveld. A Nightfarer's forays wither the soul and cloud recollection, causing one night to bleed into the next. But of one thing he remained certain, that he must track down the Night Lord and bury it. There was no choice. He repeated the words to himself, all the while clenching a precious object in his hand. A solitary earring, its counterpart long lost. In a corner of the Round Table Hold, light shines in through the ceiling to a dimly lit room. There stood the Wylder, holding the solitary earring up to the light, casting a pattern on the wall that he could not comprehend. The Wylder was sure that it was some word, or perhaps a phrase, but he could not recall it. Where had he misplaced the earring? If he only had its counterpart, surely the meaning could be divined. It seems as the Wylder sits with his thoughts, trying to pull something far away from deep within his shrouded memory. A part of him begins to awaken, if only in his dreams. He dreamt of his home, 2 horses galloping across Windwhale Knoll. They were a healthy pair of twins, which was rare. To the Wylder and to someone, the horses were special. Upon a hill they ran abreast. He looked at her, hair dancing in the wind, and saw the earring on her left ear, but he could not recall a face. "My Lord Wylder, how are you today?" The voice of the Iron Menial awakened him. Time for another errand, no doubt.
Wylder, I have a boon to ask of you. Would it be possible for you to procure me a whetstone? Consider it my inviolable duty to keep everyone's armaments in tip-top shape. But I'm afraid there's very little life left in the stone I have here. You have a discerning eye, do you not? Would you be willing to hunt one down for me? Simply marvelous. I advise you to make your way to the mining tunnel. The underground passageways are sure to contain ore suitable for metalwork. There are whetstones to be found there, I'm certain.
The Wylder then ventures out into Limveld, allowing the task at hand to distract him from his musings, letting himself fall into the rhythm of battle, which he's so keenly attuned to. Upon returning to the hold with his prize, he is offered a choice of reward.
I'm very sorry, but that belongs to the Priestess. Anything else? Oh, you merely wish to borrow it. Very well. But once you're finished, be certain to return it to her.
This mended earring resonates with the Wylder. Something about it is deeply familiar. He decides to pass it through the light, just as he does for his own. Two horses gallop side by side. May the wind spur us on our path. After finding something that had been lost to him, he returns the earring to the Duchess.
What's this? It must be repaired already. That barely took any time at all. Thank you for fetching it. This is a thing of great value to me. A compass that will lead me to someone dear. I suppose you're thinking that earrings normally come in pairs. Oh, forgive me. I've likely talked your ear off. We must prepare for the next battle.
Clutching the now solitary earring, the Wylder drifted off into sleep. The sun was setting on Windwheel Knoll, and as if in deference to its name, a gale howled. The dreaded winter was approaching. By the time of the first frost, he knew that his sister would be far along her journey. The Wylder fell silent, and she, flashing her signature smile, flicked her earring with her finger. "Goodbye for now, dear brother. Once we're done, we'll meet again." He could not remember her name, but he always remembered these parting words. The memory of his sister had returned, but what could he do knowing that she did not remember him? The Wylder continued to fight, never mentioning his younger sister. There was no way forward except to soldier through the war at hand. He returned to the Round Table that day to discover a note from the Iron Menial. "I've considered what might explain your singular obsession with that earring. Then it came to me. The two of you possess a striking likeness. So much so that I simply cannot deny it. There is something that you must know. Please check the study." The Iron Menial, who at this point must have been like a friendly presence to the Wylder, led him to the study, and it was there that a great truth was revealed. The Priestess, mouthpiece of the formless master, rooted to the Round Table, she must share its fate. What could this mean? Perhaps the crypt mentioned in the study's many tomes held the answer. He had to know.
Yes, the crypt is filled with the ancient people of these lands. I still remember looking after them long ago. As you know, mortality does not apply to those such as myself. These souls were laid to rest here in anticipation of the threat we now face, in a ritual required to draw the minds of their descendants here. Brave champion, there is something that you should know. The Priestess was here long before the rest of you. Indeed, she is held captive by the Round Table itself.
The truths revealed by this place were many. The Wylder's very ancestors were laid to rest at the Round Table, making it the fate of both him and his sister to face the long night, and tying her very being to the table itself. He had to speak with her.
What is it? You can tell me. So, dear caretaker let the cat out the bag. It's true. I'm imprisoned by the Round Table Hold. Far from an architect of this scheme, I am merely another condemned. You may find it amusing, but it is the truth. Once we're done, it will be goodbye.
With so much now dancing on the edges of his mind, the Wylder drifted off to sleep. But it was not to be a restful one. The Wylder had the same dream time and time again. A long night persists, driving his clansfolk to madness. After a horrific battle, all that remains upon Windwale Knoll is a sea of gravestones. After the deaths of his cousin, Farhad, little Shirin, and his own father, the clan's chieftain, the Wylder discovers that only he remains. And now only he can avenge his clan. Only he can bring an end to the night. But even if he can...
Once we're done, it will be goodbye.
Even if the night were extinguished, the twin horses will never gallop beside one another again. The Wylder continued to fight against the night, becoming more desperate as he felled the lords before him. He took to sleeping alongside his blade. Holding his greatsword, the Wylder drifted off to sleep. Out of nowhere he heard the rustle of cloth, then the clink of something being placed on the table. The Wylder awoke and slowly sat up. As he explored outside the sleeping quarters, he found a small key with a note from the Iron Menial. It seems as though their interests aligned. He remembered a chest outside the crypt, and within it was a scrap of paper outlining something called the New Night. The Priestess is the cornerstone of the Round Table, indispensable. Should the Night Lord fall, the Round Table too will crumble, as their fates are together bound. Yet should the Round Table be remade, perhaps the Priestess may be emancipated from her bindings. This might be done upon the falling of the New Night, should the Lord's power be lost. And if so, what was this New Night? He decided to speak with his companion, one who knew more about the night than any could know, the Recluse.
Does the idea of leaving the Priestess behind trouble thee? What a tender soul thou art. In that case, I have knowledge I would relay. Seek thee a tear of silver, but the road will be one of hardship. All the same, I wish thee good fortune, for the fortitude required is a rare thing indeed.
His path clear, the Wylder fought his way through Noclateo, the shrouded city, until finding his prize. It was guarded by a mimic of a headless troll. However, he was able to dispatch this abomination with ease, and return to the table.
My heartfelt commendations. By thy look, I presume thou hast found one. It shan't be long now.
I see you have procured your prize. Excellent. I would do anything, if it means we might save her. Blame me for putting you in this position if you will, but I leave her fate in your hands.
His friends had decided to allow him the final say in what would happen next. The silver tear he grasped gently throbbed. The Wylder discovered a familiar brooch by his belongings. In his tribe, when one warrior gave such a gift to another, it was a promise to ever fight side by side, whether separated by land or sea. Did his younger sister remember such customs? He pinned the brooch to his coat, as was their practice, and gently placed his hand upon it. Once we're done, it'll be goodbye. He knew the twin horses would never run free again, as once they did, side by side. But perhaps just one could gallop onward. All that was left for the Wylder was to put an end to the true Night Lord. And so alongside his fellow Nightfarers, he faced the aspect of night, Wylder the Night Lord. And upon their victory, his companions celebrated. But the Wylder's mission was not yet complete. After a time, a new Night Lord came to be. The Round Table Hold, spared from annihilation, would be formed anew, in preparation for a new night. But would it be enough to free the Priestess? He would never know. The Night Lord lumbered on, indifferent to whether or not the twin horses would ever ride again. The Wylder sacrificed himself for the Duchess, choosing to bring a new knight so that she might have a chance at freedom. Using the larval tear, he took on the mantle of Night Lord and doomed himself to wander at the edge of reality, prepared to do battle with all who would cross his path. The memories that drove him to this selfless decision were now all but gone. He was no longer himself. A terrible fate for a kind soul and loving brother. Much like in the days of Dark Souls, the cycle will repeat itself with a new Night Lord continuing the reign. Perhaps now new champions will arise to face this new knight. But with any luck, by then the Duchess will have found a way to separate herself from the Round Table, and her brother's sacrifice will not have been in vain. Perhaps the new playable characters promised by FromSoft will have some bearing on this course of events, but only time will tell. Thank you for joining me for the story of the Wylder. Normally I present you with some questions about the lore of the character, but given Nightraign's less obtuse storytelling, I think it's better to simply ask, what do you think of the Wylder and his quest to save his sister? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Watch that button light up as I ask you to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and set notifications to all so you never miss out on any of our lore dives. We look forward to seeing you again for more Elden lore.